If you're serious about 2026, start these 7 habits now. 1 year, that's all it takes for your life to look completely different. Not because something magical happens on January 1st, not because you suddenly become more motivated, not because you finally discover the perfect productivity system, but because of what you choose to repeat every single day. Most people enter a new year with enormous goals. They promise themselves they'll lose weight, read more books, save more money, wake up earlier, start a business, finally become disciplined. For a few days, everything feels exciting. The motivation is high, the vision feels clear, but then life happens. Work becomes stressful, the weather gets colder, sleep schedules fall apart, unexpected problems appear, and slowly, those ambitious goals are replaced by old routines. By February, most people are already living exactly the same way they did the year before. Not because they don't want a better life, but because they never change the habits creating their current one. Here's something worth remembering. Your future isn't built by your biggest goals. It's built by your daily routines. The things you repeat without thinking eventually become the person you become. If you're serious about making 2026 your best year yet, you don't need another motivational speech. You need better systems, better habits, better decisions. Starting today. Let's talk about 7 habits that can completely change the direction of your life over the next 12 months. Not overnight, but through the quiet power of consistency. The first habit is planning tomorrow before today ends. Most people wake up and ask themselves, what should I do today? Successful people usually ask that question the night before. It sounds simple, almost too simple. But this one habit removes one of the biggest productivity killers: decision fatigue. Imagine waking up already knowing your most important task. There's no confusion, no wasted 30 minutes scrolling through your phone while trying to decide where to begin. Your brain loves clarity. The fewer unnecessary decisions you make in the morning, the more energy you preserve for meaningful work. Every evening, take 5 minutes, write down tomorrow's most important task, prepare your workspace, lay out your clothes, fill your water bottle. When tomorrow begins, you've already won the first battle. The second habit is protecting your first hour after waking up. Most people surrender their attention within minutes of opening their eyes. They grab their phone, check notifications, read emails, open social media. Without realizing it, they've allowed the outside world to control their mood before they've even started the day. Your first hour is incredibly valuable. It sets the emotional tone for everything that follows. Instead of immediately consuming information, create something. Read a few pages, write in a journal, exercise, stretch, meditate, take a short walk, drink water. Spend the first hour investing in yourself before giving your attention to everyone else. The third habit is becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable. Growth rarely feels comfortable. Whether you're learning a new skill, starting a business, building healthier relationships, or exercising consistently, discomfort is part of the process. Unfortunately, most people interpret discomfort as a signal to stop, but successful people see it differently. They understand that discomfort usually means growth is happening. Imagine lifting weights. If the muscles never experience resistance, they never become stronger. Your mind works exactly the same way. The difficult conversation, the challenging project, the early morning workout, the book that's hard to understand. These aren't obstacles, they're opportunities. Every time you choose short-term discomfort, you're investing in long-term freedom. The fourth habit is learning something every single day. The world changes incredibly fast. Technology evolves, industries change, skills become outdated. The people who continue growing, continue learning. You don't need to study for hours. Even 15 or 20 minutes every day creates an enormous advantage over time. Read books, listen to educational podcasts, watch thoughtful interviews, take online courses, ask better questions. Curiosity compounds. One new idea today can completely change the opportunities available to you next year. Knowledge isn't valuable because you collect it. It's valuable because it changes the decisions you make. The fifth habit is taking care of your energy, not just your time. Most productivity advice focuses on managing schedules, but time means very little without energy. You can have 8 free hours, If you're mentally exhausted, those hours won't produce much. Protect your sleep, drink enough water, move your body every day. Eat food that fuels your brain instead of slowing it down. Take breaks before you feel completely burned out. Remember, your body is the engine carrying every dream you have. Ignoring it eventually slows everything else down. The sixth habit is keeping promises to yourself. Every promise you keep builds trust. Every promise you break weakens it. Think about someone who constantly breaks promises. Eventually, you stop believing them. The same thing happens inside your own mind. If you repeatedly tell yourself, I'll wake up early, I'll exercise tomorrow, I'll finish this project, then you don't follow through. Your brain slowly stops believing your own words. That's why small promises matter. Don't promise yourself you'll study for 5 hours. Promise yourself 10 minutes. Don't promise yourself 100 push-ups. Promise yourself 5. Build trust slowly, because self-confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you earn through repeated evidence that you do what you say you'll do. And finally, the seventh habit, perhaps the most important one of all, become the type of person who never misses twice. Everyone has bad days. Everyone gets sick. Everyone loses motivation. Everyone makes mistakes. The difference is what happens next. Most people miss one workout, then another. Miss one reading session, then another. One missed habit quietly becomes a new lifestyle. Highly disciplined people think differently. If they miss today, they immediately return tomorrow. No guilt, no self-hatred, no waiting for Monday. They simply get back on track. Consistency isn't about perfection. It's about recovery. The faster you return, the stronger your habits become. There's something fascinating about compound growth. Imagine improving just 1% every day. One better decision, one healthier meal, one extra page, one short workout, one meaningful conversation, individually. These actions seem insignificant, but months later, they create a completely different person. This is why habits often feel invisible in the beginning. You don't notice dramatic changes after 1 week, or even 1 month. But beneath the surface, something incredible is happening. Your identity is changing. Every workout tells your brain, I'm someone who takes care of my health. Every book tells your brain, I'm someone who keeps learning. Every promise you keep says, I'm someone who follows through. Eventually, you stop forcing yourself to act differently because you've become someone different. People often ask successful individuals what changed their lives. They're usually expecting one big breakthrough, one lucky opportunity, one life-changing decision. But more often than not, the answer is surprisingly ordinary. They woke up a little earlier, read a little more, complained a little less, moved their body consistently, protected their attention, kept small promises, repeated those habits for hundreds of ordinary days. That's how extraordinary lives are built. Not through dramatic moments, but through quiet consistency. So before you become obsessed with your goals for 2026, ask yourself a different question. What habits will naturally create those goals? Because goals give you direction, but habits determine whether you ever arrive. Start today, not next Monday, not next month, not next year. One better choice, one better habit, one better day. Repeat it often enough, and 1 year from now, you'll look back at the person you are today and realize that the biggest transformation wasn't caused by one giant decision. It was created by 7 small habits, repeated consistently, long after motivation disappeared. Because in the end, the future doesn't belong to the people who wait for the perfect moment. It belongs to the people who quietly improve, one ordinary day at a time.